I'm a fan of ignorance is bliss, you know?
It's very true. You know, sometimes you just have to roll that way. And you know, as adults, we have to do that. We have to just go, you know,
Shit doesn't matter.
fuck it. It really doesn't matter. It only matters with your ego. And everything is always disproportioned in your imagination. And things aren't always as they seem. And so, you can conjure these, you know, elaborate things up in your head as the way they took place, but it wasn't necessarily the case. So, you know, leave them unsung, because then, obviously, if you have them in your mind as a way that take a place, and you ask for the truth, and it comes out, it could be more elaborate than what you expected, and you don't ever want to know that. If it's more elaborate than your imagination, you've gone forever.
Do you consider yourself the Southern Indiana monster?
Not really. Not really.
Because you've heard that before.
I've heard it. I've heard it a bunch. No, not really. You know, it was something that happened around the 07 mark with the release of the Redneck Tales book. It's sort of what everyone expected. Everyone thought, because these things were happening to me, that I was obviously this just intense, crazy intense motherfucker who just, this shit could not happen. This shit could not happen without me in the mix. And this is not true. It just so happens I have a very interesting upbringing, and I know a lot of these people, and I went to school in a backwoods school, and a lot of these people are, you know, it's just like Southern Indiana is like this, you know, you just grow up with people, and whether you don't speak to them for fucking 10 years, you see them again, and it's like nothing ever happened. You know, nothing ever happened. You just, you see each other, and everything's cool, and oh my God, it's good to see you, right on brother, and then you're on to a fucking adventure. And that's essentially what happened to me with that first book. Is I was on to an adventure every time I run into somebody. And sometimes it was a lot of fun, and it's funny, and sometimes it was really fucking shocking. And but to be coined this Southern Indiana monster, I think, is a little inaccurate. Although I would really love to have that title. I would, I'll be honest with you. I think it's fucking fabulous. The first time I heard it, I thought, fuck
What's
yeah.
a good part of still living in Southern Indiana?
It's home, you know? It's home. It's me at 16, 17 years old, fucking talking to all my friends, talking about how I can't wait to get the fuck out of here. I can't wait to get out of fucking Evansville. This place is a cesspool, and it fucking certainly is. But it's home. And here's what I found. In touring, which I've done, you know, my share of, from east to west, I realized that this place is really no different than any other. The only thing that makes it different is opportunity. That's what the country holds. Because, truth be told, in places like New York and LA, people have a high fucking regard for people in the Midwest. Their work ethic. People really like to work with people that come from here. But it's the opportunity. So, it's sort of a catch-22. It's like the work ethic that you get from living in a place like this is completely just absolutely fucking priceless. But that without the opportunity is useless.
So taking a step back, you were talking about writing Toilet Bowl Soup, Tales from the Armpit of America. You were talking about writing the second book, The Holy Shit. So how did The Holy Shit come about? Where did it come from?
The Holy Shit really came from a fucking idea that I was going to make the next great American novel. And it come from several ideas. And you know, it's embarrassing to say, but at the time, sort of writing, not sort of, I am completely writing based on my feelings of the day. And those days were not, and those feelings and those days, they just were not very, how do you want to say, consistent. They weren't very consistent with the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and so on and so forth. So after I got off the road from touring Redneck Tales, and I just set out to fucking write the Great American Novel, because I can't be stopped at this point. Now I've got a fucking mission, and that's to write this Great American fucking novel, and I'm the one to do it, no one else. And I believe that. And once again, my ideas and the time spent were not consistent with each day, and I lost a lot of feeling.
Had a lot of the heavier drug use started at that point, or was it still hit and miss?
Completely. Completely. At that point, I was using a lot of fucking drugs. I guess it come into play like midway into the Redneck Tales tour. Excuse me. And it really fucking just altered my sense of what needed to happen. I had a fucking idea as to what needed to happen. And I had a fucking grand fucking vision of the finished product, but it just never came to pass. So the holy shit is really just those things. It's those things, in a shortened version. Things got a little bit deeper for me. They just did.
So you weren't under the influence so much when you wrote the first book?
No. Surprisingly enough, no, I really wasn't. A lot of people think that I was. I mean, I was probably a fucking drunk, easily. Easily could have been labeled a drunk, but I was on a lot of drugs when I was doing that.
But the second book you were, when you wrote it?
The second book, it was primarily drugs.
Somebody that's not read it, what are they going to get themselves into?
The holy shit? Or
yeah,
Redneck Tales?
The holy shit.
I don't know. You know, what I'm finding is that, I'm finding that a lot of people that have read Redneck Tales and may have become a fan because of that, are not that moved by the holy shit. And the holy shit gets a little deep. And it's a little more poetic, and there are some points where I think it gets a little romantic, and that's unintentional completely. Other than just what comes off the fucking skin of my fucking sleeve, I suppose.
But you're hopeless romantic at heart. Nobody knows that.
I suppose that's true. That's true. Everyone knows, or a lot of people, most people would guess that I don't give a fuck about anything, but that's not necessarily true.
Who is Adams?
We don't even know. We don't even know. I know that he's somebody that allowed me to sit here today. He's someone that allowed me to sit here today. Now, there's a lot of bad that goes into fucking talking about Adams, and I know there are people today, at September 27th, 2011, that are talking about fucking Adams the way he was the last time they remembered him on his birthday. And there's a significance behind that guy. He carried Mike Adams through some times that Mike Adams probably couldn't have carried himself through. And he allowed Mike Adams to write some of the things that Mike Adams probably could have never written, ever, in his life. Mike Adams, he sort of lost himself. He got off the road, he lost himself, and there was never any hint of what's going on right now, what's marketable. It wasn't like that at all. And I just went at it. And at times when Mike Adams was saying maybe this isn't the best road for me to travel, maybe this isn't the best book that I should be writing right now, maybe I should be doing something different, Adams was there to go, fuck it, that's it.